Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today I just want to talk a little bit about our power system here, our backup power system, and we were actually asked to do a video for our what is currently our backup system because we're having an issue with one of the components. So I figured I'd take the opportunity to just try and go through a little bit and explain how we've been getting by off-grid here at Crooked River Homestead. In last fall, when we moved and bought the property, we purchased this Bluetti. This is the AC300 with the battery. That's the inverter. This is the battery, the BK300. And you can see we currently have our RV plugged right into it. And basically, we run everything off of this. We barely use any DC power, occasionally some lights and whatnot, but so basically anything, we're running the fridge off of gas, propane, and cook off propane, but the furnace, the hot water, and anything else that would be typically AC in our unit here would be run off of this unit. And we really like it. It's been pretty reliable, and we had a few issues at the beginning, but it seems to really come through for us. Made it all the way through the winter, which we had some pretty cold, below zero, actually made it down to 23 below zero at one point. So we had some pretty cold weather, and the area I'm sitting in was actually all closed in, so this wasn't actually sitting outside in the cold. It was temperature controlled, but it worked great all winter long. We had no issues with it, and it does a good job as far as solar. We could probably use another battery. We figured out at some point in the winter. We were kind of debating whether we wanted to buy another battery because of the short days in the winter, and we weren't getting a lot of charge. We figured maybe we'd have another battery kind of help us get through the night, because we were having a problem making it through the night on some nights when it was really cold. The furnace would be running a lot. We'd really have to cut back on the power. I might have to run the generator at night, and that can be kind of rough, especially when it's below zero and you're asking the generator to step up and get this thing powered up and charged up. So we decided to go another route. As far as, we have a bigger system that's in storage right now. Just to get off topic for a second, we have the main system that we're going to be installing eventually at some point here, hopefully within the next year or so, 6 months. So we got to get the container put up and whatnot, but we're working on it. But this is going to be our main power system. At least when we started, this was going to be our main power system going through this until we got our primary set up. Then we realized if we have a problem with this one in the middle of winter at any time, we really should probably have a backup or some way to supplement our power more. And really, when you're off grid, as far as like what we're doing, it really comes down to collection and storage. Collection being the panels and how many panels we have and how much we can collect from the sun on the sunny days. So for example, right now, let me spin this for you. So right now we are charging at 360 watts or so, right up here in the corner. And we are using about 183 down here. We got no DC, we're not using any DC on this unit right now. You can see it's fully loaded with AC, and we do use these occasionally to charge our batteries and some other purposes. It's got a bunch of other nice features, and there's a lot of videos on these units online, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's primarily just to show you how much we're using. We're currently at 61%. I think we're around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're using a little more than we typically would, so we will get to 100%. Generally by the end of a day like today. It's been really sunny and hot the last few weeks, so we've been doing pretty good on the power. Let me show you what I'm using to keep these things charged up. As I said, collection is one thing. The storage here, the battery, does pretty good. I think 300 watt hours, I think it is, and it does a pretty good job holding us through the night. In the summertime, obviously when the furnace has to run a lot in the wintertime, can be a little bit of a pain having to get up and get the generator started so that we can get this thing charged up and not go dead, basically. But let me show you what we got for panels. So these are 420 watt panels. These are the two of the, I think we got 19 of them. to set up for our big system that we're eventually going to get. The wind caught this one at some point during the winter and crashed on the ground. It's still working, still putting out power. So instead of breaking out another new one, I just figured I'd keep using it. But at any rate, so this is what we're using right now. This is what we've been using. And it does work pretty well. As you saw, we're collecting currently on a fairly sunny day, a little overcast here. We got, you know, like I said, almost 400 watts, and she will peak out about, you know, over 500, 600 at some point. But there again, when we get those times where we just run out of sun and don't have enough, or we need more power, this is what we're going to be using. And I'll tell you what, this little Harbor Freight Predator 5000 right here has earned its place in our respectful, humble opinion as part of this homestead. This is a, as far as I'm concerned, a workhorse of a generator. We couldn't ask for anything more other than the fact that it does one thing that we wish it could do, or maybe two, but and that is why we ended up getting another backup system instead of just getting another backup generator and adding more batteries. This little unit here, I think we've got 350 hours on this one. The first one we bought actually ended up quitting it in the middle of winter, right at the last day of our 90 warranty, and we got in at the last day of the 9-day warranty. They exchanged it, no questions asked, gave us a brand new one, and we've been using this one ever since. And I'm not sure exactly what happened to the last one. The battery died at some point, and the battery on board that starts it, and I think it just either wouldn't run or wouldn't put out power. I don't remember already, but at any rate, we were really happy with it. So they gave us a new one, and we've been using this ever since. And I would highly recommend, if anybody's looking for, not cheap, it's not an inexpensive one. I think you can get them on sale for just under $1,000 or so, but we really like it. We just put a lot of faith into this little unit, and it's really come through for us when we really needed it. So other than that, the one thing that we didn't care about it was that it does have a remote start, but it didn't have an app that we could get into it with through our phone. We wish it had that. And there was one other thing that we wish it could do. Unfortunately, because it's a proprietary standalone unit and doesn't work with anybody else, or they don't have any battery systems that they work with, it couldn't possibly do this, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. And basically, when our battery gets low, we just have an extension cord. 110 plugs right into our Bluetti, which is way over there, and we basically just start this up. Maybe once a day in the summertime here, we'll start it up probably at night just before bed. After coming down from 100% on a fully charged day, after cooking supper and everything, and we're getting ready for bed, it may be down to 70% or so, and we'll run it for whatever, charge it up to 100%. Probably don't even have to do that. Probably make it right through the night until the sun comes out the next morning. But the next morning comes around, we got the coffee maker going and a blender and whatnot. So, we're using a little bit more power. So instead of waiting for the sun to come up, we'll, just fully charge it at night, and then in the morning it's good to go until the sun comes up, and we don't have to touch it again till the next night. The one downside about the remote start is that, and I don't know if it's a big downside really, is that if you don't use it within 12 hours, it goes to sleep, and that's to save the battery on the unit itself. It's not a big battery. So you have to come out and physically turn it on and off just to wake it up, and then you can reuse the remote control, and that works great. That's always worked well. So as I said, once we decided that we needed something to back that up, we shopped around a little bit more, and let me show you what we came up with. One of the features I wanted to talk about, and that I really like about the new generators today, is they run on more than one fuel. They can run on gas, LP, and some run on natural gas. And we actually have a tri-fuel one, brand new, that we have sitting over on the shelf right now as a backup. So the new ones like the Predator, we run it primarily off of LP because, well, one, I just don't like dealing with the fuel, the smell, the spill and all that. It's just so easy to hook up an LP tank and turn it on and you're done. The only problem with LP is it doesn't put out as much power as the gas one does. Gas will put out more power. So I'm not too concerned with that because in my opinion, it's a small price to pay. We're just keeping our batteries charged. So I'm not looking for maximum output in terms of running stuff. All it's doing is charging up the battery, so it's not a big deal. But one of the things that we liked about this new unit, this is the Ecoflow Smart Generator 4000 dual fuel. And one of the features, as you can see, it's got the propane attachment. You can see here it's got the switch for the gas and the LP. This unit here, I didn't discuss price, but the Harbor Freight, yeah, the Harbor Freight I mentioned was just under 1,000, around 1,000. This one I think is around, I think we paid around 1,500, and it's a 4,000, so it's not quite as big. But again, all we're doing is keeping our batteries charged, so I'm not too concerned with the amount of power it puts out, peak-wise anyway, and which is why we run on LP. So the reason we went with this particular system is because not only is it a generator that we can hook up our RV to, like we did on the Bluetti, and as I mentioned, all we do is we basically use this one outlet to keep our Bluetti charged. And this one also has some nice remote start features. It does not have a key fob like the Harbor Freight, which I was kind of disappointed, but it does have the app, which is nice because the app allows you to monitor pretty much everything from the LP, amount of LP, the amount of gas on board. It has many more features than the Harbor Freight in terms of some of the things it can do. One of the things that we really liked about it though, and when I started looking around for a backup system, I was mentioning to Brenda, boy, it would be sure nice if instead of having to stack up batteries and making sure that you have enough power collection panels to charge all that and then relying on the generator to, finish topping that off, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could have a battery that was connected to the generator and would be able to kind of monitor itself, meaning when it got down to a certain percentage, the battery got down to a certain percentage, it would just talk to the generator and the generator would kick on automatically and charge it up, and when it got fully charged, turn it off. And that's what this does. This is the mate to the Ecoflow dual fuel 4000 generator I just showed you. This plugs in through a cable right here into that generator, and this monitors the battery on board here, and when it gets down to a certain level, it will automatically turn on the generator and fully charge it. I'm under my little tent here where we have our little cabin with the water pump and the generator here. And the reason it's here is because I'm able to plug my water pump into this, and I do have a solar panel keeping this charged, but again, as a backup, we also have that generator that is supposed to keep this fully charged. Now, I say supposed to because we bought the generator in January, but it was a backup, so we didn't really rely on it. We didn't really use it. We preferred to use the Harbor Freight, and that's the one we used. And the other one kind of stayed in storage until we bought this one. Now, the other generator, the Ecoflow 4000 dual fuel, cost, I think, around $1,500. So a substantial cost more than the Harbor Freight by about $500 roughly. However, for what it can do in terms of the feature of being able to connect directly to your battery and monitor it and turn on and off automatically, seems to be a no-brainer for me. It would solve a lot of problems if I could set it up so that I could use it year-round in the winter. The one thing about the Ecoflow is it does not like to run, and they'll tell you right in the manual, it does not like to run in the cold. The Harbor Freight has proven itself to us that it can run in the cold. So that's one consideration I have to think about in terms of setting this generator battery setup somewhere for the winter that we'll be able to monitor the temperature, obviously. And so when we finally got the water pump going here, we needed some way to keep it powered up. We decided that we would break down and purchase this battery setup. Now, this battery setup, which goes to the generator, the Ecoflow, I want to say cost us $2,393. And it wasn't cheap, because we could have bought quite a few Bluetti batteries for that. But we really wanted the feature of being able to hook up this here generator to the battery that I just showed you, the Delta Pro 3. We ended up buying this generator from a company called Wellbots. And the reason we bought it from them is because when we were shopping around, Ecoflow had this, obviously this unit for sale. I want to say it was about $200 more than it was from Wellbots. I'd never heard of Wellbots. I was just shopping for this particular, for the best deal on this. I actually reached out to Ecoflow directly and said, hey, is Wellbots a authorized reseller for you guys, and is it safe to buy this product from them? It's $200 cheaper. And they said, yep, they're authorized reseller. So we went ahead and we bought it from them. And so the battery we bought from another company just in the last month or so. And we haven't had any problems with that so far. And this is the reason for the video, finally getting to it. So in the last week or so, we did have some cloudy days. The generator was set to run or start up at 20, when it got down to 20, the battery got down to 20%, sorry. And so up until this point, we hadn't used it too much, but we had used it and it was working fine. Everything was running fine. It was set up and going good. However, one day it started to run rough. When I say run rough, I'm going to show you here in a minute. Just wouldn't put out any power, coughing, spitting, just running rough, basically. So I went through it. I went through the troubleshooting guide and went through everything that the troubleshooting guide said to do. Check the air filter, clean the spark arrestor, check the spark plug. I actually put a new one in there. I actually even went to fuel. I went to gas. I really didn't want to pour gas in here, but I wanted to verify it wasn't a process of elimination, a diesel, an LP problem. So I ran it on the fuel, on the gas. I put a little bit of gas in here and ran it on the gas, and it just pretty much ran the same way. So I kind of eliminated that as a potential source of a problem as far as the fuel goes. Everything else looked good. The air filter, it's brand new. Basically, it had, maybe a few hours, 50 hours on it or so. There wasn't any time on it at all. We didn't need it. We didn't use it because we had our Harbor Freight, and we were just saving this one as a backup in case that one had a problem. And as I just mentioned about the other battery, so we decided to break it out and start using it. And so kind of disappointed because with very little time on it, it's starting to give us problems, and we kind of need to rely on it now because we have a water pump to keep running. So we've been getting lucky with the temperature, the weather, I should say. Well, I had to switch arms. It's been sunny, so it's been doing, as you just saw, I think on there, I think it was 99 or 100% the battery just from solar. And I've got one 420 panel keeping that battery going. So it really doesn't get used during the day other than if the water pump kicks on, it'll draw a little bit of power. So it's just kind of sitting there. We're going to be using, that's the one that I really wanted to be using this winter coming up because it has this one feature where will turn the generator on, it's supposed to, and charge it up. Now, let me get back to the troubleshooting I'm having here. What I did is I went through the troubleshooting guide, did everything as I just mentioned, checked the spark plug, air filter, spark arrestor, changed the fuel, kind of checked things over a little bit, and just couldn't find anything that I saw that jumped out at me. So I reached out to the company just to let them know I was having this problem. I actually made a video, and I posted it on another site or another channel I have, and I do that primarily because I want to just give the company a chance to respond without maybe a lot of people seeing, you know, what the issue is or whatever. And so they got back to me and asked me to do a little bit more troubleshooting and follow through a little bit more for them. So I thought I'd take this opportunity. Here we are, I don't know how many minutes into the video, and I'm finally going to get around to getting to the email that he sent me recently, a couple days ago, and we're going to go through this so I can show you and him the problem we're having with this generator here. I'm hoping we can get it resolved. All right, so the first thing we're asked to do is check whether gasoline flows normally from fuel line of the gasoline tank. So I've located the gas line. You can see the fuel filter right there. It goes down behind the carburetor. In this area, I can't really get my hand in there, but it's up behind here. I've actually got my fingers on it up in here. I don't know if you can really see it down in this area from this angle. You can just barely see my fingers down here, and I could pull that fuel line right off. It is loose. I say loose, it means I could pull it off. The problem is when I do that, I'm probably just gonna end up with fuel all over the place here, and I really don't want to end up with gas all over this machine. So I did verify that from this little screw here, which is the overflow, or to empty your carburetor, basically. This fuel line here comes out down at the bottom here, and I did verify that fuel comes out here, and I know fuel's getting in there because, well, we know that when we turn this on, it says 25%, and we are on fuel here, gas, and we have plenty of gas in the tank, and it does start and run, so we do know that there's gas in there. As far as does it have enough gas in the carburetor, I'm going to say it does, only because it does start and run, and it doesn't seem to be a fuel problem. It seems to be more of a problem with the idle speed adjustment. So let's check the next question on the list. All right, the next question on the list is check whether the ignition of the engine is working properly. All right. I can only assume that what he means by check the ignition, meaning the spark plug, maybe make sure there's spark. I verified there's spark. I've actually put a new spark plug in it, the exact same one that came with it. As I mentioned earlier too, when I pulled the spark plug out, I noted that it looked a little wet, like it was running a little rich. Maybe the choke wasn't working right, or typically, generally it would be like a lack of airflow or too much fuel or something to that effect. Where we were running it on propane, and we did run it on a little bit of gas to just troubleshoot it, it ran the same way both ways. So as far as it being one fuel or the other, I doubt very much it is. It's something that's common to both. So as far as the ignition goes, I verified it does start. I'm sure that's not what you're referring to as far as ignition. So the fact that it does start and run shows that the spark plug is working. Now, whether it's timed properly, I can't tell you. I don't know how to check the timing on this, or if it's even able to be checked, or how they do it. So it does have spark, it does start, and it does run, so we know it has ignition. Number 3, check whether the amount of gasoline is appropriate. Okay, well, it says 25%. And I know I put fuel in it. I'm not going to top it off, because if I have to tear it down or something, I'm just going to have to empty it out, and I don't want to do that, or if I have to ship it or whatever. So there is ample fuel in there. I put it in there so I know this is accurate. And again, it's not a fuel problem, only because, well, I say not a fuel problem in terms of the amount of fuel, whether it's propane or gas. It does start and run. So that's not an issue. Let's see what's next. All right, so it says, if the problem persists after the above checks, please proceed with the following steps. Verify whether the throttle and choke are adjusted properly. The video was not recorded clearly enough. Please re-record a new one. Well, okay, well, that's fine enough. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to get it started again and show you that it's working. I'll work them first before I start it, and then you'll see that they're working. As far as the choke lever goes, you'll see the choke lever and the throttle lever for that matter. You'll see both of them bouncing around when I start it up and run it here in a minute. And it doesn't seem to matter which fuel, whether it's propane or gas, it runs the same way on both, which again would lead me to indicate it has something to do probably more with engine, the governor, engine idle speed. But let me get this thing wired up here. I'm going to turn the camera around. And here's the choke lever right here. You can see that's moving fine. Both ways, open, close. Now, I can't verify whether it's attached to the flap inside and it's opening and closing. I'm not taking this off to go look. I'm gonna say it's working. And if it's something that they want me to get into as far as taking it apart to verify inside, then I will. But for now, that is working. As far as the throttle up here, it's a little hard to get to, but you can see that one's moving also, no problem. Back and forth, and again, I'll get it fired up and we'll see what it does when it's running. All right, so we're going to run on gas. I'm going to run on gas because when I ran on propane a while ago, it seems to backfire, so it's not running as well on the propane. So we're just going to go ahead and run it on the gas here. I'm going to push the button to get it fired up. All right, and let's go over here. All right, well, that's on gas, and you saw me playing with both the levers. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to LP, and we'll do it on LP just because we're here now. That's full on. This tank is full, and we're going to show you right here. It's 88%, so we got quite a bit of fuel. That's a new tank. So let's get this another try on the LP. Choke closed here. Throttle set back. So let's see what happens here. All right, now it won't start at all. I think it's because the battery's low. Let's see if I can jump start. See if I can pull start it. definitely runs rougher on the propane, and definitely sounds like it's choking itself out. Like I said, the plug indicator was running a little rich to me. Doesn't seem to matter. I can choke it out if I turn the choke lever all the way over. I can shut it off by choking it, so that's working as far as I'm concerned. Again, I'm not sure how the inverter part of this connects to the motor part as far as the governor of engine speed, but somehow it almost seems like there's something that's telling the motor to choke itself or give it more fuel or something to that effect. I'm not quite sure, but at any rate, let me get to the next item on the list here. Okay, so next it was use your hand to move the choke lever and observe whether it rotates smoothly. That's easy enough. We just go like this, and it does. And we did verify that. One of the first things when I took the cover off, obviously, is just check, make sure everything is moving freely. Same with the one back here. It does move also, as you just saw in the video here. The throttle speed. So if there's any foreign object, turn off the engine, remove the foreign object, and then restart to check whether it operates smoothly. And yeah, I will provide you with the serial number. Yeah, I'm not sure what else you need me to check out as far as this goes. It says it doesn't have very many hours on it. We bought it as a backup, so we didn't really use it. We just purchased the battery recently from another company, and we used it a few times. It did work fine for a few times, but probably on the 5th or 6th time, the engine just started running rough, and it's been running the way you just saw it ever since. So I'm not sure what the situation would be as policy as far as getting this. I looked around online, couldn't find very much as far as manuals or information, and I don't know how much I'm supposed to break into this thing and start looking for problems. I don't know if I could resolve it anyway, because while I am a motor guy, I'm not necessarily an inverter guy, so I'm not sure how the two pieces go together. It's a pretty complicated piece of machinery right here, so I don't really want to get into it. It's kind of disappointing, but hopefully we can get a resolution to it. If there's any further suggestions, please let me know. I'd be happy to give anything a try, see if we can get this resolved. Thanks for your help, and I look forward to hearing back from you and seeing if we can work together to get this fixed. Thanks for your time.